Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari Gopijana Balaba Girivanadari Yasura Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Yasura Nandana Bhajana Ranjana Jamunti Ravanachari Jamunti Ravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Boom, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari All right, dude, Jamani, you got the job. Thank you. Now, let's see. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Swadamo Bhagate Dhammagana Dibisaha Kalandasa Dashramesha Parano Konado Data Narayana Namaskritcha Naram Chaiva Marotama Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet The Bhagavatam, which is brand is the sun. It is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna, accompanied with knowledge, religion, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of the age of Kali shall get light out of this Purana. Before beginning, that we said. Did we say both of them? Did we say before beginning our study the Srimad Bhagavatam? Yeah. Before beginning to study the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, we should first offer respects to the personality of Godhead, to the Badrinarayan Rishi, the personality of Godhead. What else? To the Badrinarayan Rishi, the supreme human being, and the author Srila Prabhupada. And my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. I told you the brain's a little fuzzy this morning. So, let us start with Canto 7, Chapter 8, Text 2. I'm going to use this, because this is a smaller version of the Bhagavatam? Is our regular? This is the size of the set? Yeah, it's a smaller set, and the printing's a bit. So I don't think the devotees know how hard the BBT trustees work to keep the we're at Canto 3, Chapter 8, right? Yes. And Text 2. Well, that doesn't look like the right thing. Canto 3, Chapter 8? Well, that would explain it, wouldn't it? Hang with me, Prabhus. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, to keep the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada wanted the printing of top quality. And nice, the illustrations clear, the quality of the paper. So to actually, Swavas Prabhu, how to keep the top quality, Swavas is our North American BBT trustee, and how to keep it at the cheapest price possible. When I first went to India, it came out of the Calcutta airport, and there was an advertisement, slogan, I forget what they were selling. I think it was razor blades or something. And the slogan was, in big letters on this billboard, best and cheapest. And I figure, that pretty much covers it. Isn't that what you're looking for? Best and cheapest. So as servants of the Sankirtan devotees and the public in general, they work so hard to produce top quality books at the cheapest price possible, so the devotees in turn can sell them for as cheap as possible, and so as many people possible can get the Bhagavatam. So you don't know what goes, some people do like Dravida, but what goes behind printing these books, Those devotees, Jagadish Ananda, Swavas, Archita, Dravida Prabhu, they really work hard to give us first-class books at the cheapest price. No. It's my turn now. Okay. So, Atacharya Sutas Tesham Buddhim Ekanta Stamstitam Alaksha Bitas Tvarito Ragya Avedayad Avedayad Yata Atacharya Sutastesham Buddhim Ekanta Samstitam Alakshabita-stvarito Ragya Aveda Yadyata. Say it at the same speed and not too fast. The devotees race through to show how they've mastered the verse. And the devotees, the speaker sometimes races through the verse. But they should go slow because they've studied it for an hour. But the devotees are experiencing it for the first time. You go a little slow, they can actually learn it or pick it up, at least pronounce it. Okay. Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata. One more time. Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata. Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata. Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata. Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata. Mataji, you want to try? Atacharya sutaste sham buddhim me kanta samstitam alakshabita-stvarito ragya aveda yadyata ata. Thereupon, Acharya Sutta, the son of Sukacharya, Tesam, of them, the sons of the demons, Buddhim, the intelligence, Ekanta samstitam, fixed in one subject matter, devotional service. Alaksha, realizing or seeing practically. Bita, being afraid. Tvarita, as soon as possible. Ragye, unto the king. Hiranyakasipu. Avedayat, submitted. Yata, fittingly. Translation. When Sunanda and Amarka, the sons of Sukracharya, observed that all the students, the sons of the demons, were becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness because of the association of Prahlad Maharaj, they were afraid. They approached the king of the demons and described the situation as it was. Also, you say, when Sunanda and Amarka, the sons of Sukracharya, observed that all the students, the sons of the demons, were becoming advanced in Krishna consciousness because of the association of Prahlad Maharaj, they were afraid. They approached the king of the demons and described the situation as it was. Prabhupada's purport. The word buddhim ekanta samstitam indicate that as an effect of Prahlad Maharaj's preaching, the students who listened to him became fixed in the conclusion that Krishna consciousness is the only object of human life. The fact is that anyone who associates with a pure devotee and follows his instructions becomes fixed in Krishna consciousness and not disturbed by materialistic consciousness. The teachers particularly observed this in their students, and therefore they were afraid, because the whole community of students was gradually becoming Krishna conscious. Om Ganata Marundasya Gyana Gana Salakaya Jakshushan Militangina Tasmade Shri Guruve Namaha. So, I did take some notes. So Prabhupada was on a radio show in Los Angeles, and the person asked all the foolish, useless questions. Why do you shave your head? Why do you wear robes? What's that stuff on your face? You know, you're sitting in front of a pure devotee who can explain the secret to happiness and the ultimate goal of life, and you're asking some petty something, you know. And Prabhupada, there was a lady assisting him. The guy, I'll just give one example. The radio guy in Los Angeles, and the show was about 11 o'clock, and it was being broadcast live. Very popular. I forget the name of the show. So Prabhupada was speaking. A few devotees went with him, senior devotees. And we were all back at the LA temple listening to a little radio, hearing on a radio. We were it's the restaurant, but it used to, anyway. So we were sitting there. Got something going on, my friend? Something's going on. So we're settled? Okay, thanks. So Prabhupada's at the radio station. It's late at night for us. And this guy's trying to make Prabhupada look foolish and make us look strange and irrelevant and odd. And Prabhupada's just knocking him back. He said, well, in your religion, they say the world's flat. Prabhupada says, everywhere I walk it is, which threw the guy off. You know what they're talking about, like Atma can mean the physical body, it can mean the subtle body, the mind and intelligence, or it can mean the self, the soul. So according to context, it has a different meaning. So when they say Bhumandala, Sariputta enlightened me to this, according to context, sometimes it means the earth, which Prabhupada says it's called Lokadvipa, means a round island in space. So, you know, there's no question that the earth is round, flat earth, there's out there, sorry. It's round, according to the Vedas. Prabhupada says Loka, round like a ball. I just heard Prabhupada say it this morning, once again. Okay, there's that's clear. And then it's talking about, sometimes it means the subcontinent of India. Sometimes when they say Bharatvarsha, you know, it's actually called Bharat. India's the actual appropriate name. It's not a colonial name, India. It's called Bharat. So you've got the subcontinent of India. You've got the planet Earth. So where does the flat come in? It's talking about the plane of the universe. If you look at the 9 planets lined up, they're more or less on a plane. Sometimes they call it a cosmic plane. So that's the part that's flat. It's, you know, around, and they're all going around the sun or whatever they're doing. The sun's going around, you know, whatever. So that's another story. So that's where flat comes from. The guy's trying to make Prabhupada look foolish, you know. The lady, Prabhupada hit him a couple times. They asked him, why is the death rate so high in India? Prabhupada said, death rate's the same everywhere, 100%. Which kind of, you know, the guy, he wasn't getting much traction, you know, and he was trying to get a grip. It was like a wrestling match, you know. So then, and he was kind of stunned. So the lady weighed in It was a lady assistant. She said, why do you shave your head? Prabhupada said, why do you shave your legs? Prabhupada said, better a cool brain and warm legs. I mean, Prabhupada was just it was fantastic. So, but relevant to this, the teachers are worried about, what happens if these boys become Krishna conscious? So the male interviewer recovered from being punched by Prabhupada a couple of times. He said, in exasperation, what if the whole world becomes Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, don't worry. There'll always be fools like you who won't. Which that was it. The guy was out. He was just out of the game. I think the lady said, well, could you chant? We chanted, and that was it, Now, when Prabhupada got back, we stayed up, to see our conquering hero come back. And when Prabhupada came back, he warned us. He said, I can do this, you cannot. He said, calling this guy, before, I don't know, he had 1.5 million listeners in L.A. County, and Prabhupada just called him a fool. Oh, and then Prabhupada went on to say, actually, if everyone becomes, he didn't even say everyone, he said a significant portion of the population becomes Krishna conscious. He said every tree will give a fruit and a flower. The weather it'll always be springtime, and it will only rain in the evening when the animals are in shelter. Prabhupada's describing Satya Yuga, So, which is what? If the people are pious, Prabhupada said the nice weather in Hawaii is due to the people were previously pious. And it's the residual effect of their pious activities. But when Prabhupada got back, we were all young and fired up that Prabhupada had slapped this guy silly, verbally, logically. And but Prabhupada said, no. Prabhupada said, this is the special dispensation of what old men and little children, they can go anywhere and they can say anything. A little child walks into the women's bathroom, nobody minds, says, oh, you smell funny. Nobody minds. It's just a baby out of the mouth of babes and old men. So I don't want you guys to get the thought that, well, if I go out there and just grind people into the ground, that's successful preaching. Prabhupada said the proof of your preaching is they take it, But Prabhupada, the special dispensation, and Prabhupada I'd seen many times, he could understand people, and he could understand how that works because he's greatly self-realized, or Krishna's giving him impetus in the heart, or who knows. That's beyond our pay grade. But he could understand people, and he could say, very direct things. Some other day, I'll tell the time that Prabhupada met the editor of Playboy magazine. His son was Pundarik in Chicago. Well, I guess I'll just be quick. And Prabhupada, but the temple president, Sri Govinda, told Prabhupada, we've got someone coming from a very major magazine in America. Didn't tell Prabhupada, well, you'll understand. Prabhupada said, what's the circulation? They said 6 million. Prabhupada said, oh, very nice. So they showed up for a pre-interview. Turns out it was Playboy magazine, because they used to, like you try to perfume a dead rat. I mean, it's just pornography. But they used to have an interview of some so-called cultural figure or intellectual, try to perfume the thing, So, and it was the year of the Guru, according to Time magazine. So, Prabhupada was a significant cultural figure in their calculation, and rightly so. So they're interviewing him. That's why. So they came for a pre-interview, and Prabhupada said, what kind of magazine is this? And they said, it's a photography magazine. It's a photo magazine. And the way they said it, Prabhupada was just like Sherlock Holmes. He was right on it. Prabhupada said, what kind of photos? And they said, oh, photos of women. Prabhupada said, what kind of photos of women? And the Sri Govinda said, women in various states of undress. Prabhupada said, what? Prabhupada said, we cannot be in such a magazine. And Prabhupada's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then he turned to the editor of Playboy magazine, and he said, you seem like a gentleman. Why are you working for such a magazine? And most people would take they'd be offended by that or take it, And the guy just opened up his heart. And he said, I know I graduated top of my class at Columbia, one of the best, journalist schools in the world. And but the pay's good, and I got to get my kids through college, and, Prabhupada said, no, you should not be. And the guy said, I'm looking for another job. It was just, Prabhupada got right into the guy's heart, and I saw that multiple times. People would come mad as hell at, that you stole my child or whatever their issue was, And Prabhupada would just calm them down and turn them around. So but what if the whole world became Krishna conscious? And it would become Satya Yuga. It is our duty to give them association, just like Prahlad Maharaj. There's Goshthananandi and there's Bhajananandi. The Bhajananandi, and it's a very elevated state. They'll go to some holy tirtha and isolate themselves or, sequester themselves from the general contaminating populace and just chant to themselves. And, devotees were always saying, I'm going to go to Vrindavan, I'm going to go to Mayapur and just chant. Actually, most people can't do that. Their mind will be thinking about it used to be rough in India. It used to be really rough. And there was a devotee, we took a new bhakta with us. He'd been around for about a year and a half, but, hadn't moved into the ashram yet, but he went with us to India. And I don't want to look at that. We'll tell that story some other time. But it's our duty. There's Bhajananandi, who isolates themselves and, goes into cloistered life. And there's Goshthananandi, who give their association, who go out and Prabhupada said, you won't, somebody said to Prabhupada one time that you're always out in the streets and your devotees are in the cities and, but I live in Rishikesh by the banks of the Ganga. And Prabhupada made this point about Goshthananandi or Bhajananandi. And the man said, the well doesn't go to the thirsty come to the well. Anyone know what that means? And other than Dravida, what does that mean? The well doesn't go to the thirsty go to the well. Anyone want to hazard a guess? You'll still get breakfast, yeah. Yeah, if you're looking for, you'll go to the well, you're thirsty. So someone looking for enlightenment, well, they'll find us out. But the rest of the riffraff, tough luck for them. So, but Prabhupada said, Prahlad Maharaj, who we're talking about here, Prabhupada said, where do you find the devotees? You'll find them in the cities, in the most intense places. Why? Because they're in the mood of Prahlad. They want to, when I go out on Sankirtan or book distribution, it agitates my mind. I see these people in various states of undress. or, they give me a hard time and it agitates my ego. It's just too much pressure. I don't go out on book distribution. Too much pressure. Okay, fine. We've got devotees who go on Harinam, and it's fantastic. Or distribute prasadam. That's fantastic. But going out and mixing whatever, Harinam, book distribution, prasadam, whatever your venue. But you go out to be kind, to give them mercy, to give them association. Prabhupada says if a gentleman or a gentle lady sees someone, going in the wrong direction. Suppose you see somebody with one of those white and red canes. You don't see those anymore now. But if I'm blind, and they're tapping their way down the street here, they don't see the red light. They're about to step in traffic. Do you say, nah, I don't know them? Maybe they'll think I'm trying to pick their pocket. I'm not going to get involved. Is that a very noble or not even civil? It's a crime. It's a crime. Wait, hang on, man. You don't even know him. You grab him by the arm. Oh, abuse. No, you grab by the arm and help him out. So to go out and give people Krishna consciousness, and where else are they going to get it? There was a lady at the Laguna Beach temple, and the devotee, I met her at the Sunday feast, or whatever, Saturday, whatever it was, I forget. But I met her there. I said, how did you find out about it? She said, well, I own the stationery store, such and such, downtown Laguna. And every couple months, I see one of you people come in. And you're always so peaceful. You're always friendly and polite and peaceful. You know what you want. Half the people come and try to steal something, or what he said. He said, I just thought, you people are so nice. What are you all about? They don't. I've told this one. I've told many of these before. I'm going to tell it again. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told the same story so many times he numbered them. It's true. He would say, just like number 6, and everybody'd laugh, So, and one learns by repetition. So now, what was I going to say? Oh, there was my good friend, Indra Bharta, where do all retired devotees go? Alachua. So he was he lives in Alachua now, but he's a nice devotee. There's many nice devotees in Alachua, and they do nice preaching, don't get me wrong. So I went with him, I forget why, but he was at the welfare office to get on Medi-Cal, or whatever it was in Detroit. I forget what, it's that, if you're below a certain income level, then you can get medical treatment. Usually the bare minimum, but you can get something. So, and you have to fill out a form that states your economic situation. And I don't know about welfare offices or, across the U.S., but I can tell you right now, the Detroit welfare office is one of the most depressing places you can possibly. It's painted pale green. It's fluorescent lights. Nobody wants to be there. It's embarrassing. It's undignified. And you're going to get harassed left and right. The people who work, it's like the DMV multiplied by 10. Nobody wants to be there. Both the employees don't want to be there, and the people don't want to be there. So he gets his form, and the lady was behind, bulletproof glass with one of those rotating windows, and you can see, it's Detroit, which Prabhupada pronounced Detroit, which sounded like destroy it. Prabhupada had his own opinion of Detroit. And we've made a lot of nice devotees there because the place is such a miserable place. People, there must be something better than this. So anyway, he fills out his form, and they ask everything about your economic, Do you have any banking, any savings, any inheritance, any pension? If you've been mentioned in anybody's will, do you have a boat? Do you have a motorcycle? Do you have gold fillings? I mean, they just ask, they practically take you by the heels and shake you to see if any change comes out of your pocket. So, and he's a brahmachari, a nice surrendered brahmachari. Everything was nope, 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 and they have the total at the end, and the total was 0. 0. So he slips the thing, she cranks it around, and she's just perfunctory. She's just doing her job, doing whatever it is. And all of a sudden, she's got to see what the total is. So she, spins it around. She goes, and she sees the 0. And for the first time, it snapped her out of her torpitude, just turpitude. She snaps out of it. And she looks at Indrabharta, Das Brahmachari, looks at the form, looks at him, looks at the form. And she couldn't control herself. She says, "But you look so damn happy." It just didn't tabulate. It didn't square. How was it possible, And he was a very nice Brahma, happy, effulgent, good shape. I think he'd sprained his ankle or something, was trying to get it x-rayed. I forget what it was, But he was a nice brahmachari. So if they don't get association of devotees, and think about it, they have so many sayings. It's always darkest before the dawn. You've got to take the bitter with the sweet. Every cloud has a silver lining. These slogans or sayings are indications of the experience of that particular population. It indicates what they're thinking. So it's just compensation. Well, it's not as bad, Could be worse. So, but they don't, when they meet a devotee who is not going after any of the things that they're chasing after, and is just happy and kind. The only reason devotees are out there is for them. They got to meet so many boneheads and aggravated people. You're just sorting through them, trying to find, probably there's Brahmins on every corner. You just got to sort through and find them. So why are they? It's cold sometimes, it's hot sometimes, they're hungry sometimes. Why are they out there? Nobody's paying the devotees, although we do get payment from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in great ecstasy and blissful realization. So there is a payment, a blissful exchange. But materially, why are the devotees out there? Why? I mean, Gunagrai Maharaj used to be a little heavy. Sometimes, he could be a little firm, let us say. So somebody once, they not so much anymore because now they recognize us as monks. So they used to say, "Get a job." Gunagrai Maharaj said, "I've got a job." The guy said, "What's that?" Gunagrai Maharaj said, "Trying to save you. And it isn't easy." So here we see Prahlad Maharaj, and we are in that mood. And our mood is to give association. Krishna Lounge, repeated association. It's not a one-time event. Although it's a fact, they get a book, they hear the Hare Krishna mantra, they take some prasadam. We were doing a festival out at San Diego State. We had our own, we took a candy stove, those circular stoves, and we were cooking cauliflower pakoras and tomato chutney right out there on the site. I tell you, it's a powerful combination. So the San Diego State football team, these people are gargantuan. They are huge. You could take 3 Dvijamanis and pack them in. And he's in good shape. They're big guys. You ever seen those football players? They're usually about 7 feet tall. They're like a tank. They slam into me, I'm finished. That's it, So they were running on campus, exercising, you know. So they were going past this. Prabhupada said young man means hungry. They're always hungry. Yeah, they were like, what? It's college ball, so they're like 19, 20s at the most. So they're running, and they were going in a circular path. We're out there cooking cauliflower pakoras and tomato chutney. We had a bunch of displays and every little bhajan. So they're running past. This guy, they go past once. They go past twice. Third time, that's it. They're stopping. And I remember this one guy was, I mean, he must have been 7 foot plus and built like a brick wall. So we gave him this. He bites into the cauliflower pakora, and he looks at me and says, better than Colonel Sanders. You know, and I'd never thought of it, but you think about a nice cauliflower pakora, it could be like a breaded, you know, but it's better. So if they don't get association, how will they become purified? And they can buy a book, that's good. They take some prasadam, they'll never forget it. I meet people, I'm sure you've met them. You know, I saw you guys 12 years ago, and I was at a festival in Wisconsin, and you gave me this little round ball. It was, I mean, you can watch them, and they'll describe the piece of prasadam they got. And they've been thinking about it for 12 years. How do I get another one of those, you know? The devotees used to sneak into Port Authority. The Port Authority in New York was a great book distribution place, but you know, it's all the buses come in and out. But we had no right to be there in those days. So the devotees would sneak in and the police would catch you. So Pragosh told me this. Pragosh is in there, he's having a great day distributing books, and he sees this big New York cop. He's definitely looking at him, he's lumbering toward him. He says, hey, Krishna, over here. So he comes over and he says, you got any of those balls? Sweet, you know? So Pragosh said, gosh, because they used to go out with, he used to make lugloos. Maybe they used to go those big lugloos. And the guide had, you know, it's a fantastic sweet if it's made right. He didn't have any. They, you know, the cook, I think Hari Kesh started that actually. So then he thought, wait a minute. And we said, because he had some burfi in his lunch bag. So he goes over and gets a piece of burfi. He had 2 pieces, only gave him 1. Gave him a piece of burfi. The guy pops it in his mouth, relishes, and says, don't be caught without him again. And let him stay. Couldn't care less that he was in Port Authority illegally. He just wanted to take some prasadam. So giving them association, for them to see that there's an alternative way to life, and that you're just chasing after, like the deer after the illusion, you know, the dream of water. Prabhupada gives that, Bhagavatam gives that example. So, do I fast forward? What do I do here? I think I'll just fast forward. Because I want to say the other things too, and I'm wondering if I should save it for another class. We should get their name. We should give them association. If Prabhupada sometimes there's brahmanas and there's kripanas. What is the meaning of kripana? Anyone know? It means a miser. Now, what is the definition of a miser? They have wealth, but they got it all stuffed under their mattress, or whatever it is, Oh, who's the, they're there counting it in their vault, and yeah, I was thinking, I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking the exact same thing. So Scrooge, But Prabhupada said a brahmana, one of the Vashishta Muni and Vishramrita. Vashishta Muni had a Kamadhenu, and we'll end here. I'll save the other stuff for later. Kamadhenus can give unlimited amounts of milk. And there's a certain type of Kamadhenu that can give anything you want. There's a story about Alexander the Great. That's another story. When he met a sage. We'll tell that one later on, if we have time. But so anyway, he had this Kamadhenu that was a mystic cow that could produce anything you wanted. Vishwamrita was a king, and Vishwamrita was out on, it's in the Mahabharata, Vishwamrita was out on tour with his whole army. And they came to the sage, the little ashram, and the sage provided food for his entire retinue. You know, a couple hundred people. And he fed them all. And he's a little sage. He's got a few skinny little brahmacharis helping him out. He's got a little cottage, a couple cottages, a little flower garden. Well, how is this possible? And when did he cook it? Then he saw, I don't remember he asked or he saw, I forget the detailed story, but he found out that Vasishtha Muni had a Kamadhenu. So you're supposed to give the best of things to the king. So the king said, hey, hand over that Kamadhenu. And Vasishtha didn't really want to do it. So he grabbed he had one of his soldiers or whatever, and he started to drag away the Kamadhenu. And the Kamadhenu began crying. He didn't want to leave Vasishtha Muni. So there was a whole thing, and Vasishtha Muni, the sage, held up his danda. And from his danda, it's in Mahabharata, from his danda began emanating all kinds of weapons, swords, arrows, discs. And he defeated Vishwamrita, this skinny little sage, all by himself with his danda, with his staff, fended them all off and protected his Kamadhenu. So Vishwamrita thought, what is the use of becoming a king? And I'm a king. I want to become a yogi. I want to become a Brahmin, a sage like this. And there's a whole story. They fought for generations. And the Prabhupada mentions it in the Bhagavatam. They were always fighting. Vishwamrita performed austerities. Indra sent, Menaka? Was that her name? Yeah. To make him fall down. Beautiful Apsara, and he fell down, lost all his tejas, all of his power that was building up. Finally, he snapped out of it. That's the whole story. Practice it again. 60,000 years of meditation. Indra sends another Apsara to lure him away from the path. And Vishwamrita is so angry that he's trying again, burns her to ashes. But lust and anger, they're the two sides of the same, anger after frustration. You're lusted, you don't get it, Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita. That sequence of anger after frustration. So he lost his tejas from his anger. So for so many things happened to him. And gradually, after trying so many things, he had the realization, why am I torturing this poor Vasishtha Muni? He's a saintly person. It was his cow. What is this thing I want anyway? I want to become a Brahmin. So why? So I can, lord it over other people. It's all useless. He said, my efforts have all been a waste of time. And he went to apologize to Vasishtha Muni. And when he had that realization of the futility and the arrogance and how he tortured this poor sage, all of a sudden the Deva showered flowers on him and said, you have become a Brahmin. Because he developed compassion. Renunciation and compassion, jnana and vijnana. What is it? Renunciation, knowledge and renunciation. He developed that, and compassion. So then he became certified as a Brahmin. So here it's being described, giving association and its effect. So you meet somebody nice on Sankirtan, get their name, stay with them. Come. We dream of people coming. Come to the Krishna Lounge. Sit down next to somebody. Take the time and follow up with them. Show them how to chant japa. So many things. But giving association, because that's what changes the heart, as we see here. So we can end there, and I'll say the other things next time. Okay, thank you very much, Prabhus. Hare Krishna.